Well, you are looking at the richest homeless person in America. That's true. I thought about that today. If you looked at all the homeless people in America, I am probably the richest. If not, definitely top five. And so it brings up an interesting dynamic that I can speak from. And I want to use this opportunity not just to say I'm the richest homeless person in America, let's throw me a party. I want to use this opportunity to understand principles, okay, that can give us a level of financial independence that you don't have to be homeless to enjoy. And I'm also playing off the title of the book, The Richest Man in Babylon. There was a book, very famous book, I believe it was written in 1926, and it teaches about 7 principles of money management. The book is called The Richest Man in Babylon. But tonight, I am broadcasting live from an all-night gas station as the richest homeless person in America. Oh, guys, I'm on fire already. Good to see you. Twist of love to you, brother. All right, let's go with number 1 from The Richest Man in Babylon, and then I'll talk about it as the richest homeless person in America. The number 1 principle that is taught in the book The Richest Man in Babylon is save at least 10% of all that you earn. So I would say I would agree. I would say try to save more than 10%, but a savings account is your number 1 step to financial independence. Because if you have an emergency and if you have money in your savings, you don't need to borrow money from family members or a bank. And if you get a certain amount of money in savings, as an example, $10,000, $20,000 in savings, your mind is at ease that you can pretty much survive 90% of all emergencies. And that is wealth. That's a level of financial independence. It may not mean that you're the richest person in America, but after you get to a certain dynamic, it's just about creating peace, stability, and independence in your life so that you can live your best life. Cal, 199 super chat. Dashing tonight on the auxiliary. Minimalism for the win. Well, that's what I'm talking about. You may be the richest door dasher in America. I want to tell you that it is possible, okay, to create a life in a developed country, okay, that you can not just survive but get ahead, that you can not just soak in misery, okay, but Scrooge McDuck your way to inspiration. Let's go to the number 2 lesson tonight, and I want to say, Cal, and all my door dashers, accept 90% of all deliveries. That's the number 2 lesson of The Richest Man in Babylon. Well, it's a little bit different. He says, learn to live on 90% or less of your income. So his first step was save at least 10%. His second is learn to live on 90% or less of your income. I would say if you need 90% of your income to live, you're living above your means. I would say if the average American takes about $3,000 home per month after taxes and health insurance, then could you live on $1,500 a month? Because that would be 50% of your income. Most people know, because that's most people's rent. So you'd have to be homeless. So that's a dynamic, because even if you have a paid off mortgage, after you add your property taxes, home insurance, utility bills, etc., it'd be very tough to live on $1,500. So you'd have to probably try to live on less than 75%. But The Richest Man in Babylon says, basically live on less than you make. Okay, that's a key principle right there. Okay, so what I want to tell you is whether you're homeless, living in a mansion, subsidized apartment, okay, or a luxury RV, you have to learn to live on less than you make, so that you have a surplus of income every month, that you can decide what do you want to do with it, savings, investment, etc. Savat, great to see you. Shout out to Jacksonville. Shout out to Florida State. of maybe the most millionaires, but right now it's the state of the richest homeless person in America. Love to you, Savak. Keep pushing forward. Truck drivers making that good money. Love to you. Adam, wish I was rich, laughing. Well, Adam, you know your day will come. Your parents will pass away, God forbid, not wishing that, but you'll probably get some type of inheritance. It'll probably go through a couple years of probate, depending on how contentious it'll be with your family members. But then you have to divide, then you got children and you got your girl. I would say you could still be financially independent within 10 years. Your biggest obstacle is going to be the girlfriend that you keep going back to. Because one is, it's always a red flag to me if you have to go back to the same person more than twice. Like if you break up once and you go back, it's understandable. The first breakup never lasts. But if you break up with someone 2, 3, 4, 5 times and you go back to them, to me, there's a reason you break up. And then you create this cycle of dependency emotionally. And even if you're financially independent, when you're emotionally bankrupt, you have no energy. When you have no energy, even if you have money, it doesn't even matter if you're the richest person, you're suicidal. So what I want to tell you tonight, okay, protect your energy, protect your money bag, protect your energy, protect your peace. Let's go into number 3. This is from the Richest Man in Babylon book. The number 3 principle: invest your accumulated capital money into projects that will provide a safe, steady income, taking full advantage of the compounding interest received. And this is mainly speaking of, in today's terms, a dividend stock, some type of an investment, maybe the index funds that over time, okay, they grow not just at a certain percentage each year, but they compound on top of each other. So we're talking about, we're not talking about, oh, Wendy, shout to you. Wendy, love to you. Welcome back to the Yacht Club. Access, come and go as you would like. Great to have you. I think about you often, no matter what. You keep taking care of yourself. Shout to all my nurses, my caretakers. I don't care if you're an RN, a CN, or whatever abbreviation they have. If you can show up, because here's my principle, guys. You can be a rich person if, okay, you cut your expenses, but increase or at minimum keep your income. A lot of people sell their house, live in their car, and they don't have income, or they quit their job. Number 2, okay, is, look, guys, you got to stay away from the addictions, gambling, drugs, and risky investments, because that destroys your money bag like nothing else. However, there's no judgment. There's no judgment because, guys, we're all in this world together. We're all human. But I want to encourage, I still want to speak on the encouraging word, and the word that's a goal, that's an aim, that's a target, that we want to try to strive to be better. We don't just want to try to strive, okay, to live a destitute or a below average life as far as our potential, not as far as standards, not as far as society standards. But you say, Inspirational Nomad, you said last night the smell of weed is the smell of underachievement. But I was watching the Locks versus Dipset versus last night, and Jadakiss did not look like an underachiever. And I will give you that. It was very entertaining. However, here's a guy in his 40s still rapping about the same thing he was in his 20s. He didn't do the Jay-Z thing. And to me, even though I thought he had great energy, I thought they did a great job, I still felt at the end it was a little bit negative, not positive. And for me, you got to evolve. To me, that's how I feel. It's like, so look, some people can smoke weed or do drugs or do different things and still have great energy. Not me. And I can't evolve that way. So everyone's got to figure out their own life. Again, and I'm not saying that in judgment, but I'm saying that in observation. I was looking at Jadakiss last night. I was thinking about that. I said, I think it's negative for the culture, negative for the youth, because to me, it's like you are the American dream. Okay, you made it to a higher level. And it's like, it's good to reflect on past things. But to me, it's better to evolve, not just for yourself, but for everyone that watches you. And to me, that was like, it felt like I was back in the 90s, which is fine. It was like a great to rekindle it. But it also felt like, guys, I don't want to live that life anymore. I want to evolve. Okay, because Jadakiss is richer than me. Okay, I'm the richest homeless man in America. Jadakiss not homeless. But to me, being the richest person is not about having the most digits in the bank account. It's about living your best life, based on your potential and evolving. Okay. And so that's what I'm talking about. Thank you again, Wendy. Great to see you. Let's go to some live comments, then we'll get back to these principles. Savat, I read the book, The Richest Man in Babylon. That's what we're talking about tonight. Cool book. Okay. Pay yourself first. Yep. Live below your means. Pay yourself. We're going to talk about some more things. Adam says, hey, Twister, Wendy, love to you. Adam says, welcome back, Wendy. Savat says, welcome back, 100. Wendy says, leaving an apartment after 1 month. Day after I moved in, the roommate said there's a roach problem. Laughing. Sounds just like my hotel experience. Even though there was no roaches and I saw no bed bugs, I got uncomfortable after about a month. So I empathize. Look, there's something very exhilarating about being a nomad. But how do you get ahead if you're going to be a nomad? One is keep your job, pick up a side job. That's the biggest mistake most people make. They work seasonal jobs, so they get a little bit of money and then they get a lot behind. Work consistently and pick up side jobs using your passion. That's how you get ahead. And for me, guys, look, I got to find everything I can to keep myself inspired and moving forward. And at a certain point, it's not just about digits. It's about using all of my energy, all of my gifts, not to take a nap, not to stay in a shared apartment, not even to stay in a hotel, to figure out how can I tap into the richest part of my spirit, the most evolved part of myself. I don't want to be Sammy from the 90s. I don't want to be Sammy from the 2000s. Guys, we're in 2021. We're not in 1990. We're not in 2000. We're not in 2010. We're in 2021. Some people can never accept that the past is over. It's good to reflect. It's good to watch the verses. It's good to look at old photos, but it's bad. It's deadly to want to relive the past. Even there's a scripture in the Bible says that basically, just paraphrasing, basically said, it's foolish to long for the good old days. When you hear someone saying like, oh, I wish, the good old days, etc., it's foolish. Love to you, Wendy. Amar, anyone in America is part of the richest 1% of the world. Don't waste it. No, that's true. Look, I've also, though, been in some of the worst areas in the country. And when you're brought up in bad areas and in a bad family structure, it's very hard to digest the fact that you are in the richest country in the world. Now, look, when you make it out, you could make it out. It's very challenging. You're beating the odds. And then not only do you make it out, then you got to stay out, and then you got to change the mentality. But, look, I can only speak from a certain perspective. Everyone has their own story. Overall, I've had certain opportunities. But like I say, even that is not a guarantee because people within my same family had those opportunities and they're living as some of the poorest in the country. So I cannot give an exact science to life, but I can empathize that for the people in the worst neighborhoods in America, it still does not feel like a first world country. But I don't have all the answers. All I could say is all I could do is the best I can do. And when there's opportunities to give someone a job who wants a job and who's willing to work for it and who's developing themselves, then that's great. But other than that, everyone is on their own journey, Love to you, Amar. Wendy, my camera, my room caught a roach growing on my TV. That's nasty and disgusting. Yeah, I would say your house or your van is definitely going to be cleaner than most places, no doubt. Any verbal contract for 6 months because I'll take it straight to the city and give my security back. Wendy, back to my car, still searching for the right living situation. Well, that's wisdom, Wendy. And that's why I believe you're a fighter. You're not a quitter. We all have demons, but I also believe that greater is the spirit that's in you than in the world. If you're struggling with anything in life, just keep trying one day at a time, one day at a time. And what I want to tell you is that you are intelligent enough to overcome this situation. And how you find a better situation is through seeking, trial and error. You just did a trial. Now there's an error, but you're gonna get back up and you're gonna find. Separate from bad neighborhoods. I want to tell you right now, if you're a nomad, use your number one flexibility. You're not going to become the richest homeless person living in the worst neighborhood in America. It's impossible because door dashing is not going to be popping. Job opportunity is not going to be popping. You're going to be surviving. So use the greatest asset as a nomad, which is your flexibility. You don't have to change states, but you have to change environments. And a lot of people struggle with that because they still are stuck in the 90s or they're still stuck in their past. But hey, guys, look, like I say, for me, that's why part of building up myself in my 20s was getting involved in a church, not just necessarily for religion, but to get around other people who were doing some more positive things than going to the strip club or going out. Not that I was always involved in the worst things, but I felt I could do better. Okay. And that's how you become better, by thinking I have more potential than this, and not judging your past, not judging your peers, but evaluating yourself and being honest with yourself. I don't want this for my life, so, but everyone's different, but this is what I want to share with you tonight. Let's go back to these principles, and we'll go back to live comments. Oh, wait, let me read Hal. I want to be fair. Hal, the friend I passed his resume to my job, he got a call back today. I feel good to pay it forward. He told me even if it didn't work out, he wouldn't be mad. Well, that's good. Like I say, there's two parts of getting a friend a job. One is it could be great. Two is it could be nasty. I did the same thing. So sometimes it worked out, sometimes it didn't. But I want to say that as long as you're fair, meaning you don't show him favoritism, and if something goes wrong, you allow there to be discipline, then it should be okay. But you have to have boundaries, and you have to have protocol. If he doesn't respect it, or your coworkers don't respect it, then it's going to become toxic. Remember, blind loyalty is not being a friend. Being a friend is saying, look, this is right, that's wrong. We're not children anymore, we're adults, and this is a business setting, not a personal setting. And so you're going to have to, but you can do it. You're a smart guy, Hal. I believe in you. You're going to do well. And then he goes, I know his work ethic. He was very thankful. That's good. Well, one is, it's good that he was thankful. An ungrateful person will always be in poverty, even if they're rich. Why? Because an ungrateful person, guys, their whole life is drudgery. And it doesn't matter what they have or what they don't have. And I don't know. I don't want to judge them, but I don't want to be around them. I have a right to say I don't want to judge someone, but I don't want to be around them. And that's what you have to do in life. And he goes, but it's good. He was thankful. That's positive. He goes, I know his work ethic. You work with him for 12 years. Well, that's great. If you know his track record, thumbs up. He goes, I just signed up for Amazon Flex. Well, that's it. That's key. And that's what I want to tell you guys. Here's how you become the richest person, okay, for your situation. Don't quit your job. If you don't like your job anymore, secure another job before you leave. Keep this steady income. Then pick up a side job. Then try to develop a way to make money off your passion. Okay. And now you got 2-3 hustles. You got consistency. And now you got a steady income stream. Number 4 principle in The Richest Man in Babylon is invest only in areas in which you have expertise with people who are experienced. Kind of meaning play to your strengths. And if you don't know something, don't go in blind. I agree with that. Because, guys, we have to collect the data, meaning we have to get the information. And we can't just shoot off emotion or instinct. We have to balance that with logic and wisdom. Good job, Hal. ESP, the richest woman in Alaska. Never forget it. She goes, I'm going to download that on my Kindle. The Richest Man in Babylon. I'm not mad at that. ESP retracted the last one. ESP, I love you. Like I told you, I believe you can go to San Diego and make $100,000 a year. But I think you need to apply for those jobs now. I think you need to be doing your Postmates or DoorDash now. And I know in Alaska, because I remember from last year and I saw your latest video, you need to be planning. You got about 2 months before it starts to become a brutal winter in Alaska. And your dream was to get down to California again. And last year, COVID hampered it up. And you said you regretted not going, but you tried. And I still believe, though, you did the right thing. And you stayed in Alaska in this safe Airbnb. And you know what happened? ESP lives in her van, but she also does the hybrid model. Like if she needs to get off the road, she Airbnbs. But you know what happened? Here's a very interesting thing. She got off the road for her safety because she didn't want to spend a brutal winter in Alaska, which is wise. But here she was in an Airbnb in Alaska in this safe zone, right? Because she's not in her car. But what happened was people drove their snowmobiles behind her apartment, her Airbnb. They were shooting guns and getting drunk. So it's more dangerous than it was almost in living in her car. So, sometimes fear is a little bit of an illusion. So I want to see you down in California. I want you to seize this moment of your life. You only get so many summers, so many winters, so many years. The average person only lives 80 years. It's true. Even the richest person in the world can't take a dime with them. But it's also true. The brokest person in the world, okay, can't even travel when they want. They can't even do what they want. And if you have the abilities and if you have the gifts, don't waste them, because that's a spit in the face to God, Elon Musk, or whatever you believe in. Because I believe that there are a certain amount of people that cannot do for themselves and society should like after them. But I also believe the vast majority of people can do more than they think. And they sell themselves short and they underachieve, not because they're evil. It's because they get too comfortable or too scared in their mind and they waste years. And then they become too old and it's too much of a risk. Don't waste your life. Good job. D says, hey D, Wendy, sorry to hear about the bugs. Wishing you better luck on your next pick. Thank you, D, for your positive attitude. We love you. Twister Sam, I finished yesterday's replay today. Thank you for all your positivity. I absolutely loved it. And yes, it's true. It takes so much energy to get to the new normal, to elevate yourself new level. Well, you're smart. And what I got from your testimony last night was that Twista has Crohn's disease, if I'm saying that right. I looked it up. It's a digestive disease. For some people, it's a chronic disease, I believe. There's no cure. But some people, it affects more than others. And you can get over it or it can subside. So there's not an exact science to it. But he was basically just sharing that for a while he smoked weed. It helped in some ways, but it hurt him in more ways. So, he decided to stop. And even though it's been a little bit discomfort, he's found it still better not being high. How? Different hospital. Yep. But you're in the medical industry. So as long as you're in a good industry, you're going to grow and you're going to be the richest person in Brooklyn. Why? Because, guys, Jay-Z retired. He didn't stay in Brooklyn. And he's not doing verses. He may do verses. But, one thing I respect about Jay-Z is that he really evolved as a person. And that growth is a huge lesson to all society. To see the growth of someone go from different levels of maturity, not just with business, but even like when he squashed the beef with Nas, etc. I thought that was, to me, tremendous leadership, right? I mean, and I'm more of a Nas fan. And then, now as I get older too, I'm more of laid back. I'm not in that zone anymore. But I still evaluate and I observe life. And look, guys, there's no magic answer to life, but I just want to get through each day as positive, productive, and feel good. I want to feel at the end of the day like I used everything I could, that I don't have this pent up energy, this anxiety of fucking waste. I don't like that. That's what we're talking about tonight. Timothy, what's up, brother? You keep doing self-care. Getting your health together is part of getting your life together and getting your money back together. Because I was so fat at one time, I could barely tie my shoe. And when I was doing maintenance in a building, I walked up 2 flights of stairs and I would get a nosebleed. Why? The blood pressure, the blood's got to pump harder when you got a lot of fat on your body. So what I can tell you from experience is the steps to getting your life together, okay, is being around positive people, trying to go in the right direction spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically, eating better and being more active. None of us are perfect. Some people have better DNA than others, etc., but you know what I mean. And then number 3 is the bag, because if you don't have your emotions, your spiritual aspects right, and if you don't have your body right, guys, money is not the resource that it needs to be. Money is a resource. And being the richest homeless person in America, guys, I'm not buying these big RVs. I'm not buying houses. I am trying to preserve my level of wealth, not to mock the poor, not to compete with the rich, but to stabilize my life, because that's the first thing money does, and then to enhance my life so I can have a platform to use my gifts at the highest potential to serve myself and society at the greatest level. Guys, that's the whole point. Okay. And so let's go into the next principle, and then we'll go back to live comments. Number 5, this is from the richest man in Babylon. Buy the house in which you live so you don't waste any money on rent. Now, that could have evolved, right? Because he wrote this in 1926. Now, you could say renting, especially if you're using it as a business, could be a tax deduction. Don't own anything. You're better off putting that money in index funds. But for the vast majority of people, if you're out of debt, if you have a certain amount of savings, if you have a steady job, then owning a house may make sense if you're going to stay in an area for 10 years, okay, or more. So there's a lot of ifs when it comes to buying a house. But the main thing is you can't be broke and buy a house because it's going to make you poorer. 2 is you got to have a steady job. You got to have savings and low debt. And then 3 is you got to figure out where you want to live for the long term. Then it may be an asset allocation. But again, I know some people, for them, they just bought a house, they watched Law and Order, and they got 20 cats running around. So, I can't call that, Back to live comments, then we're going to go back to these principles. Click that thumbs up. You want to make me even the richer person, click that blue join button. What I want to tell you tonight, guys, is that structure what you want to say in life. You have to make it a little bit entertaining. You have to make it a little catchy, but don't make it deceptive. Don't make it dumbed down. Okay. And don't dumb yourself down. There's plenty of people that say in the nomadic YouTube universe to play as if you're poor, destitute, to tug on the strings of others. Okay. And guys, when I say I'm the richest homeless person in America, look, it may be true, but guys, I'm not the richest person in America. I'm trying to make a statement, okay, to grab your attention, okay, about money management, not for the sake of competition, but for the sake of self-care and self-improvement, okay, because that's what it's all about. Love to you, Timothy. Again, Zach, what's up, man? I don't get friends' jobs with me anymore. I don't like the pressure of them making me look bad, laughing. No, Zach, thank you for sharing. I can understand. Me and Hal have talked about that. I've experienced both as well. So I can understand both perspectives. I certainly can. ESP, you deleted my comment. Oh, I didn't delete it. It must have got caught in an algorithm. Let me click on my laptop, ESP, because I was reading off my phone. Sometimes, if your comment doesn't show up, there's an algorithm that catches some comments that have certain keywords in them. Or for some reason it didn't show up on my phone. We're going to find out right now, ESP. So forgive me. If I ever skip a comment, please retype it and let me know. Like D had one that needed to get approved, which she said. She goes, hope everyone is well. I wonder why that didn't get approved. Let me see ESP. ESP said, what did I say wrong? I said, you said something wrong? What did I say about that? I didn't say anything wrong. I don't know. ESP, we're on a miscommunication. I don't think you said anything wrong. Yeah, see, I don't even see your comment that you said was deleted. All the comments I see from you appeared and I read them. So for some reason, YouTube zapped it, but I don't see it in my algorithm of blocks. So write it again. I love you, ESP. I won't block your comment without saying something. Right here, Sean, $1.99. Keep DoorDash the night away. Keep up the good work. Same to you, reciprocal. And what I want to tell you, Rideshare Sean, okay, I love your name. Why? Because it's a positive name based on productivity. I hate YouTube tag names that are like Killer 69 187. I hate YouTube tag names that have something negative in them. I hate avatars that have the picture of the Joker. Shout out to my viewer, Raj. Look, I don't like negativity. Even last night, I loved to watch the verses between the Locks and Dipset, but at the end, I felt negative energy. And I know they were just putting up a show, but I'm always conscious of energy. Like when I visit a different town to see if I like the home base or if I want to stay there, I see the energy. And energy is something that you cannot learn in a book. You have to feel, and you know it to be true. All right, let's go back to one of these principles, then we'll go back to live comments. Number 6 from the richest man in Babylon. Have a realistic insurance program. Excellent comment. Number 1, for everyone who lives in the United States of America, the number 1 cause of bankruptcy is medical bills. So if your job that you're working doesn't have health care, you got to get health care yourself. If you want to retire early and you're going to be an entrepreneur, DoorDash, live off investments, etc., you have to budget how you're going to pay for your own health care. Usually you're going to need about at least $500 per month for a basic package. Okay. So most other developed first world countries, they have universal health care. Australia, Canada, Europe, etc. So in America, we don't. So the very poor have it, they have Medicaid. The very elderly have it, they have Medicare. But those in the middle have to pay for their own. So you have to budget that. So, and then obviously if you're going to live in your car, you need car insurance. Now, one thing I did that I don't know if I might change again, being that, my car is 5 years old with 200,000 miles, the Kelley Blue Book lists it worth about $5,000. I took off my comprehensive insurance. By law in America, you still have to have liability insurance. Like if I get an accident with somebody, my insurance covers their losses if I was responsible. But if my car gets hurt and I'm responsible for the accident, it doesn't cover my car. So it's like a $5,000 thing that I'm not covering. So kind of like self-insuring. Now, sometimes you can do that when you're at a certain level of being rich, but we're talking about $5,000. What am I saving per month on my insurance? About $60 a month. So, I would have to do this for at least 3 to 5 years without an accident being my fault for it to be worth it. So we'll see how that plays out. Back to live comments. ESP. But that's okay. Your channel, your rules. ESP, don't assume that because I did not delete your comment. I don't know what happened. I respect you. It's all love. Write it again. Timothy, to stabilize myself so I can serve society at my highest talented levels. There you go. You made an excellent point. It came to me from the Spirit of the Lord and the Spirit of the All-Night Gas Station. Thank you. Real good food for thought here. Thanks, bro. Thank you, Timothy. Yeah, that came to me from the Spirit of the Lord and the energy of the moment because I really, that was not planned. None of this is written, guys. I have a structured topic. I try to figure out something, too, that's a little bit catchy and not too abstract. I try to use realistic principles and I try to use reference points and then I just freestyle the rest. Good job. All right, here, Sean. Thank you again. And D says, ESP, you are being bad again? No, ESP is being good. I don't know what happened. Right here, Sean, keep up the good work. Thank you again very much. ESP's laughing. Good. Laughter's good, but write that again. Wendy, thanks everyone for welcoming back. Wendy, we love you. Okay. Wendy, you're a positive person. You're intelligent. I know you got your struggles, but I also know that you're in a great industry, the medical industry. I know that you have a kind heart. I know that you have overcome. I know that you survived another day. I know that through trial and error, you will find a better living situation. It may be in your car for a season, but I believe you will get back into a stable apartment, whether shared, your own, etc. I believe with your years of experience caretaking, if you can separate from toxic environments, from toxic behavior, and get through one day at a time, every day you get through without doing drugs is a win. Instead of being tempted, go to the gym. Keep your day occupied with productivity. Keep your day occupied with productivity. Change your number. Don't let anyone that you used to do drugs would have your number. Don't let any family member, any drug dealer. I'm trying to tell you right now, you got to separate from that which is causing suffering. It is not easy. It is not easy. But I have to say this to everyone out there. Wendy, we love you. We're proud of you. ESP. I was just sharing that I signed up for a new gig app as a side income. What was it? I signed up for Roadie. I never heard of that. What's that, ESP? Don't know what the algorithm didn't like. Yeah, I don't know, but I'm glad you... Oh, Vicky, Hopeful from California. Shout out to Vicky. Welcome. Welcome, Vicky. We're just talking to ESP about the newest rideshare app to make money, Roadie. I haven't heard of it. We're going to look it up right now. ESP, thank you for leaving that comment and not giving up because I didn't block it. Vicky changed her life. She moved from Minnesota to California. And she found hope in a better environment. She separated from that which was toxic. Timothy, self-caring the shit out of his life. Starbucks on me. Thank you. Enjoy, my friend. Timothy, I want to thank you very much, brother. I'm praying for you every day to go for a little bit longer walk, to eat a little bit healthier. And even if we never had a six-pack, even though when I was like close to anorexic, I had like a six-pack almost. I want to tell you this. It's all about being healthy, not about vanity. I want to thank you. I want to thank everyone in here tonight, all my members, all super chats. I want to thank everyone. Last night, I got a new car battery today. I'm very thankful for that. And what I want to tell you as the richest homeless person in America is that money is a resource, not to be worshipped, but to be used so that you can live your best life. Okay. And that is the bottom line. Okay. And I live my best life by drinking coffee in Starbucks, flirting with the baristas. And there's this cute Chinese one. I ain't gonna lie about that. And I use their electricity because I refuse to pay electric bill, at least for now. I'll make it home base someday. And I want to tell you, I want to thank you. Let's go to the number 7 The final principle from the richest man in Babylon. Then we're going to go all live comments, guys. Can you believe I've been on here for 34 minutes? Can you believe every night it's a little bit of a struggle to show up? But every day, as soon as I get inspiration, I write down the structured topic I think of, I create bullet points, and then I just show up and I figure the rest out. How? $2 super chat from the richest person in Brooklyn that's working in the medical industry in the last month. Keep doing your thing, my man. Hal, you know what it is. You're going to be a director, and then you're going to be on the executive board. Why? Because you have a good attitude, number one. Number two is you know how to take correction without giving up. Number three, okay, is you're tall and you have a presence about you. When you're tall, look, use every gift that you have. And what I want to tell you tonight, okay, is that, guys, we're going to do a versus, me versus Bob Wells. Okay, Locks in a Dipset last night. The versus from the richest homeless person in America is going to be me versus Bob Wells, guys. Okay, I think you want to watch this, okay? Okay, so let's take a hydration break. Click that thumbs up. Leave a comment. Click the blue join. Put me in the algorithm of success. Because what I want to tell you tonight, guys, is that Bitcoin will probably not make most people rich. Stocks probably, as far as short term, won't. But even if they do, you have to sustain it. I'm not against risky investments. I'm not against risky things. I'm not against anything that is under your control. If you're out of control, I'm against it. Because to me, risky investments and drugs, same thing. Guys, when you do a risky investment, you get the same adrenaline rush as someone doing drugs. It's an endorphin. So I want you to always try to focus on self-control. So what I want to tell you guys, Bob Wells is lip singing the gospel of the nomad life. Buy a van, live in the desert, work as a seasonal Amazon worker or camp host. I'll tell you, that's how you become the poorest homeless person in America. If you work for 6 months at a temporary job, you'll have a temporary amount of money. But if you work for Amazon in an area that you want to live, okay, and you move up from a $15 an hour warehouse worker to a night shift manager to a regional director, you can be making $40, $50 an hour. Salary employee. Okay, you can buy a home base or you can still live in your RV and you could be the richest motherfucker wherever you want to live. Okay? But if you listen to the destitute thing, that eat out of a can, take a nap in the desert, okay? And don't even worry about money. Even though you should follow his example, not his words. His example was he created an LLC. He wrote a book. He hired an assistant. He created multiple businesses. And I'm not mad because he gave information. That's capitalism. You give a service, you get something in return. And if your service is not valued, you get nothing in return. In capitalism, there should always be a level of socialism to take care of those who are very disabled, to take care of the elderly, and have a safety net for when all of us fail. But the whole point of life is to sweat. And that's where I connected with Jadakiss last night. He said, Dipset didn't come here to have you see them sweat. He said, we came here tonight to sweat. Okay. And I want to tell you guys, I will never stand in agreement with someone who their skin is so dry it's cracking by the day because I don't remember the last time they sweat. Okay. And so this is how you become the richest homeless person in America. Guys, we're crushing the internet with this right now, guys. Let's get it to 100 people in a live chat, 500 likes. You share this with all your ungrateful relatives. You share this with your rich uncle who looks down on me. But he's a nasty person, and I would never play the game with him to get an inheritance. I want to tell you tonight, there's some, again, I've walked away from an inheritance because money is not my driving force. I like money, guys. I would even say I love money, but I am not worshiping money. I have walked away from money for a better quality of life on my terms. I would not be where I'm at without other people giving me opportunity. Managers, family members, friends. And throughout those people who've given me opportunity, they've been conservative, they've been liberal, they've been women, they've been men, they've been minorities, they've been white. I have had a broad experience with humans. And as smart as you may be, as strong as you may be, you never get to the top alone. Okay? You should never feel guilty, and you should never go backwards for the sake of making people feel comfortable. You need to have a balanced perspective that you want to go forward, you want to evolve. In my opinion, you don't want to smoke weed in your 40s and watch the movie Friday and listen to 90s rap. To me, I want to evolve. Now, I listened to the 90s rap last night. I really enjoyed Locks vs. Dipset. But I'm not, guys, that at the end, the energy was like, it was pulling me like backwards, like to that era. I don't want to go backwards. I want to go forward. I want to take a hydration break. Then I want to read these comments because we're at 83 people. Let's get 100 people in for the richest person right now, live. I go live every night. I make a video every day. Okay. Write down your idea for a video. Create videos in advance. Okay. Show up and figure the rest out. Separate from toxic behavior. This is how you get rich. Jack, $3.99 super chat. Loving the energy. I'm the Jada Kiss of the homeless, guys. Let's stay positive. You know what it is. Bob Wells don't want it. Bob Wells don't want it. I'm calling him out tonight. Someone call Bob Wells' personal assistant. And you tell him to set up the verses. Because it's me versus Bob Wells, guys. Okay. Let's go. My greatest hits, my greatest videos versus his. He's going to have a bunch of old, destitute women taking a shit, okay, in their porta potty. I got some great videos, guys, okay? Whether it was me, okay, telling you about a lot of stuff. I did so many videos, guys, I can't think of it right now. But I did a lot of good videos. Okay. So, let's take out your break. All right, let's see where we left off. And again, if I skipped a comment or if I didn't read a comment, guys, please type it again. Don't take offense. I'm not doing it on purpose. Oh, I want to look up Roadie. I want to see ESP was saying Roadie's a new gig economy app. I never heard of that one. Someone was telling me about that car buying app. I forgot what it's called. Forgot. Here's Roadie. Roadie is an American crowdsourced delivery platform offering same-day urgent scheduled delivery for enterprises, small businesses, etc. Okay, so it's like a DoorDash, but like for car parts maybe or medical supplies. So I'm not mad at that. I don't know how big they are, but I'm glad you put that on my platform. I'm going to make a mental note and I'm going to look into it more. I still want to recommend, I still believe in my spirit, DoorDash is the best ride-sharing platform as of today. But I'm glad that you shared this information with us, ESP, because I'm going to look into this more. Because the more side hustles, as far as options, the better. Back live comments, guys. Click that thumbs up if you haven't. All right, where are we at? That was Roadie. Hal, my friend will be in a different hospital. That's great. You have separation, different departments, different buildings. Good job, Hal. I'm very excited for that. So excited for you and your friend. I like to see people do good. Very exciting. Hopeful in California, AK Vicky, I love you. You've been with me a long time. I'm praying for your son. I'm glad that you got the hell out of Minnesota. You know what it is. Timothy, self-care to the day we die. Why? The sales pitch is not a Tony Robbins emotional high. The sales pitch is because it's less suffering. I'm not trying to get you to buy a Weight Watchers package where you got to be addicted the rest of your life. I'm telling you, eat a little less, go for a little bit longer walk. Instead of a gallon of soda, drink a gallon of water and have 2 cans of soda at night. I want to tell you, consistency and self-care is the answer simply because it's less suffering for you. You can tie your shoe. You can wipe your ass. I remember my ass was so wide. I almost laughed at myself. There was one time I could barely reach my arm around to wipe my ass. You know, and then you got to start wiping your ass like a girl. You got to come from around the bottom. So you got to be careful, man. Where are we at? Amar, what we consume affects us. Totally agree. Food, yes. Music, yes. News, yes. Gossip, yes. Guard yourself out there. Totally agree. Now, again, when you're young, and again, to get experiences in life, at a certain level, expose yourself to a lot. But at a certain level, to my man's Amar's point, which I totally agree, boundary up, discipline your mind, and don't let everything in. Totally agree. Good job. ESP. Roadie is for delivery. All love, Sam. You know I love you. You know I respect you. I'm going to look into that. Appreciate you sharing that. Shout out to you. She just gave us another option, guys, to make money. I ain't mad at that. Hal, thank you again, brother. You're going to do well. Your friend's going to do well. Money, money, money. Don't go back to your ex. Don't go back to your ex. Good job. Hal, laughing good. Hal, ESP, laughing at verses. Yeah, me and Bob Wells going head to head. Hal, talk that shit. Yeah. Pulling Bob Wells out. Timothy, Nomadic Fanatic? I want to do also versus with Nomadic Fanatic. And I know he's about to get with that girl, storm chasing Amber. I see it. I'm not mad at that. So I want to say tonight, guys, I'll challenge Nomadic Fanatic. I'll challenge Bob Wells. Who else? Who else could be the richest homeless person in America? I don't know. So you tell me. Timothy, we got that big momentum going here. Go, Sam. Go. Thank you about it. Jack, thank you again. I appreciate that. Oh, I got to approve D's comment. I don't know why she got blocked. All she did was a dookie emoji with a water bucket and with toilet paper. Good job, D. Thank you again, Jack. I appreciate you, Jack. You've been very positive and supportive. Thumbs up to you. I see you, Jack. Timothy. Looks like the bet emoji. See you being a motivational speaker in the future. I'm doing it right now. Thank you for the encouragement. I see you speaking in large auditoriums. I rather do it virtual, but I appreciate that compliment. Keep the momentum rolling. Timothy, you've been very supportive. I want the best for you also. I want reciprocal success for you. Love to you. D, I love the emojis. Water bucket emoji, toilet paper emoji for every thumbs down, dookie emoji for every troll, and thumbs up emoji for all the positive people that I respect, I appreciate, and that I hope I give value to, not just hot air to. Hopeful in California. Thank you. Vicky, how's everything going in California? How's the weather? How's your situation? I would love for you to share, because here's someone that can share her testimony. She actually did it. She moved from Minnesota to California. She changed environments. That's a huge part. Guys, one of the reasons you get money is to move into a better environment. If you look at human history, when someone gets money, one of the first things they do is move to a better environment. And that's why I tell you, if you're living as a nomad, if you're homeless, don't just save so you can buy the cheapest piece of land. I want you to buy below your means. And I'm not mad if you find a property below your means in an area, even if it's the country, that is manageable. I mean, but you got to think about where the hospitals, you got to think about where's the side hustles, where's the economy if you need to do it. You got to think about the infrastructure. Why? Because you got to think about your future. You got to think long term. Okay? So, love to you again, Vicky. Timothy, love it, D. Yeah, I appreciate that, Timothy. I appreciate you, D. We're learning a lot tonight. We learned about the 7 principles from the book, The Richest Man in Babylon. We learned that the Locks and the Dipset had one of the greatest verses of all time, Battle Last Night. Even though at the end I felt the negative was getting energy, even though I know they were playing. And again, I still don't agree with smoking weed and drinking alcohol. Look, when you're in your 40s, I think it's a waste of potential. However, everyone on that stage, or probably most people on that stage, are richer than me. So everyone has a different, and everyone's been through a different thing in life. So I say that in observation, not in judgment. Okay. And I want you to start to do that in life, that it's a good thing to have healthy competition without hurting others. But you got to define your life, no doubt. Amar, the old drunk under go-between. What I can tell you is that it's weird, man. I mean, like, you know, getting drunk used to be a celebration to me, or used to be a fun thing. I was never a drunk, but it used to be a part of my lifestyle that if we were going to celebrate something, we were going to drink. If we were going to go out on the weekend, we were going to drink. And certainly for some people, at the end of the day, drinking is part of their lifestyle. I'm not mad at them. I'm not judging them. Again, it's legal. But for me, as I have evolved, because to me, it's all about evolving, that I found for me, alcohol is not my best life. Cigarettes is not my best life. Excessive gambling without being willing to step back is not my best life. Now, what my best life is today as a homeless person may be different next year. I'm not going to stay homeless, or as a nomad, I should say, if it's not my best life at a certain point. I'm not scared to evolve. If you're ever going to be rich, you cannot be scared to evolve. And I'm not just talking about financially. I'm talking about spiritually, emotionally mature, good relationships, etc. Because I saw Styles P on Love and Hip Hop, man. He was crying, man, but he was growing as a person, and I respected that. Uh, D, like a wink, laugh at Timothy. Shout out to all the positive people in the chat. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you again, ESP, for bringing up Rhodey. I'm going to look into that. Twister, thank you again for being first and sharing your testimony positive. Cal, thank you, brother, for that love and that tip. Keep dashing, brother. DoorDash right now is still the hottest gig economy app out there. No doubt. Savat, I love you, brother. You're doing great. Shout out to all my truck drivers, past, present, and future, and all my ex-military who have a pension or just served, period. Love to you. Adam, I love you, brother. Shout out to you and your family. I know you're going to figure it out, man. You're a positive person, man. Sometimes forgive me, Adam, if sometimes my words are too striking at you. I don't know why I feel like sometimes, yeah, I got to try to soften my words a little bit when I'm sharing with you because I don't want to hurt you, man. You're so positive. I love you, Adam. Savat, I read that book, Richest Man in Babylon. It was a cool book. Yeah, I know I read this already, but I was just reading that again. Savat, thank you again. Adam, Wendy, it's great to have you back. Wendy, I believe in you. Wendy, if you fall 7 times, stand up 8. Every day we get through without doing destructive behavior is a win. Get through each day, separate from toxic people, one day at a time. You're in a great field. You have a great skill set. You're smart. You're not a dummy. You're smart. You're not a dummy. One day at a time. D, I love you. Adam, I love you again. I apologize if I ever hurt you. Savat, Hal, brother, you know what it is, brother. You're going forward, man. You're becoming not just rich, but you're becoming an evolved person. You're not the same person, Hal, you were last year in the pandemic, unemployed, living with your ex, trying to figure out your next step. Now you've stabilized. The first step to money is to stabilize your life. Your actions create money. Money creates stability. And stability is created so that you can expand your reach, your potential. Never forget it. Love to you again. ESP, I love you. I'm going to give you a hug all the way to Alaska and a kiss, a Dairy Queen Hershey kiss. Why? Because you shared Rhodey and I never blocked your comment. I love you, ESP. D, thank you for being positive. Thank you for always being in here. I love you. I appreciate you. Timothy, brother, you know what it is. You keep doing that self-care. Small steps to health. Guys, food is a drug. It's the same principle. You fall, you get back up. And remember, when you feel bad about eating something, make a mental note the next day that I don't want to eat that again because I feel bad after I eat that. Love to you. Zach, you're seen, brother. Okay, you come in here, and I appreciate you, Zach, your positive attitude. I appreciate you sharing about, maybe separating from some friends and having some experience with them at recommending for them for a job and it didn't work out. You keep doing you, Zach. Right, Sarah, Sean, you know what it is. You go out there, you make your entrepreneur way, you save money, you keep your debt low, keep your relationships healthy, manage your time, don't take naps, sleep 6 to 8 hours per night, wake up and do it again. Vicky, so great to have you here. You know what it is, Vicky. Whenever we connect, it's all love, and I'm so proud of you. I'm going to read your comments too. Timothy, thank you again. Amar, strong, consistent comments. I appreciate you, Amar. You know it's love. Jack, always popping in, man. Love your energy too, man. Thank you again. D, $2 super chat. D, you keep healing. You're one day closer to having a healed leg. Guys, there's nothing worse than feeling physically ill. Obviously mentally ill too, but what I want to tell you, D, is that you're one day closer to having a healed leg, to being more independent, and I love you, and hopefully you get the house sold if that's what you want, and you get another shot at figuring out what the next step is for you in your evolved life. We love you, D. D says, sleep tight, Sam. I will. Thank you again for your gracious tip. I love you, D. I appreciate you. Vicky, the weather is nice. Little hot. It's 105. Yeah, don't be worried. We're getting close to the fall. We're almost in September. And remember, it's better to be a little bit hot than to have 6 to 8 months of winter every year. Never forget it. Anytime you question, should you move to Florida, South California, or Texas, maybe Arizona, maybe, in my opinion, it's better to be extra hot than to go through 8 months of torture of the winter. If you want to take a vacation, take it at the end of August after Labor Day or beginning of September. That's the best time to take a vacation in the fall. All right, looks like I read every comment. It looks like I delivered the structure topic. I hope that my videos help you more than they hurt you. I hope that we take life one day at a time. I hope that we don't worship money. I hope that we always have enough money for the basic essentials. Remember, in the first world country, you can't name a time. You can't name someone you know that ever starved to death in a first world country unless they had a mental problem and they just refused to eat, or they got very elderly and they wanted to die. So for pretty much, if you're in a developed country, you're never going to starve to death. Shelter could be something even as a car. I live in a car. I've been living in a car for 4 years. I'm homeless. I'm the richest homeless person in America. If you can't afford, or if you can't live in your car, you can get subsidized housing. I got a family member right now on subsidized housing. She's never worked a day in her life. She gets $900 a month from the government. She pays $300 rent, and she gets food stamps. So don't tell me that the system is not there if you need it. You say, well, the list is long. Well, guys, get on the list and get to see a social worker, because it gets longer every day you don't apply. Okay. And you know, just like your drug connect knows, there's ways to get around the system. Because if you get a bunch of people that you know that are in the system, they know every way to get around the ins and outs, guys. Okay. So you know, like I know, guys, there's a lot of ins and outs of life. But you know, like I know, if you have the ability, don't settle for a $900 check and a $300 apartment. Because what I can tell you is you can do better than that. Now, if you can't, then get what you need to get. But I'll never talk down to you either way. So love to you. So that's the message tonight, guys. Remember, you got to have a catchy but informative and wholesome topic. And this was a wholesome topic because those who can read beyond the topic got the message. Remember that even if you win the versus battle, but if you're still drinking and smoking weed, to me, you're taking an L. Because you should be, I don't know, for me, this is my opinion, is that, to me, you want to evolve in life. That's for me. And I don't want that bad energy. I don't want the energy that I'm in the club. You got to worry about, like you got to worry, oh, we're all going to get home safe. Guys, like, to me, if you got to say, like, let's all get home safe, then you've created an environment, like, where maybe you ain't getting, now everyone got home safe. But look, guys, like, everyone has their own life. But what I can tell you in life, I don't miss going to the club and worrying about getting to my car and getting home safe. That's for the youth. I don't miss getting drunk to the point where I'm throwing up in a Motel 6. I don't miss getting high to the point I'd get paranoid or stumble home. I don't miss driving with drugs in my car and a gas tank worrying about the cops pulling me over. I don't miss seeing guns or seeing crazy shit. Guys, I am a 41-year-old homeless rich man. Okay? I do not, and part of the reason I think eventually I get off the road, because I think, well, maybe I'm taking too much risk being on the road. So we'll see. Amar, much love to you and the tribe, Sam. Love. Total appreciate the shout outs. I'm not just a number here. Nah, it's love, guys. Look, I try to treat everyone with respect. I know sometimes I may say a cutting thing not the right way. So I do apologize for that. I've said that several times. I try to navigate the best I can. It's not easy to go live every night, to share these things, and to be a level of authentic without being a little bit sharp. But it's not my intention to hurt people. It's my intention to show love and respect and, build people up so they can go do their own thing. Not just, whatever. Love to. Thank you, more. Hopeful in California. Vicky. Mountains are beautiful. The pay is more. Get made 30 hours a week overtime. That's awesome, Vicky. Good for you. That's a success story. Yeah. Look, when you're in a better area, sometimes the housing may be more, but the job opportunities will be more, and the environment will be better. The safety will be better. The hospitals will be better. The vibe will possibly be better. Some of the negatives about living in a richer areas, they could be a little bit snotty, but it's like, a little bit snotty or a little bit of a shootout. You take your choice, So Amar says, love your statements. Well, D says, love your statements to Amar. Thank you, D, for everything. I appreciate you also. All right, guys, we did another one. I've been on here for an hour. I got 80 people watching, 51 thumbs up. Thank you to my returning member, Vicky, returning member Wendy and Vicky, all the members, all the super chats. I have gratitude in my heart, not entitlement. I'm thankful. I try to do the best I can every day. And that's all I can do, okay? And that's all you can do. Get through each day, one day at a time. Never forget it.